各位同学大家好，今天的主题是三民第4册第6课 Would it be right to let our loved ones go? 让我们所爱的人离开是正确的吗？下集。在上集我们了解到支持安乐死的人认为实行安乐死能减缓病人与其家人的痛苦，并且释出医疗资源。而在下集我们将从另一个角度出发，思考安乐死是否真的是最好的解决方法。那就让我们开始吧。Opponents of euthanasia, on the other hand, believe that it has many disadvantages. 另一方面，反对安乐死的人认为它有许多缺点。From their points of view, legalizing euthanasia seems to violate ethical principles. 从他们的观点来看，安乐死合法化似乎违反了道德原则。首先我们看到 on the other hand， 从另一方面而言，它是用于同一件事从不同角度切入，或对前面的说明加入不同的事实。下面看到 from one's point of view， 从某人的观点来看，也可以写成 from one's perspective, in one's opinion。 Legalize 是一个动词，代表使某物合法化。Seem to 意思是似乎，它加上原形动词使用。Violate 是一个动词，它意思可以是违反、侵犯或者是受辱。Ethical 是一个形容词，代表道德的、伦理的。最后我们看到单字 principle， 它是一个名词，例句请看小黑板。The organization works on the principle that all members have the same rights. 该组织运作的原则是，所有的成员都享有同等的权利。They point out that it would give doctors too much power, which put a strain on the doctor-patient relationship and corrupts the physician's role as a healer. 他们指出，这会给予医生过多权力，造成医病关系的紧张，并且破坏医师身为治疗者的角色。我们看到 strain 意思是压力、紧张，是一个名词。例句请看。Their constant arguments were putting a strain on their marriage. 他们持续不断的争吵，使他们的婚姻关系非常紧张。Put a strain on 意思是造成压力、负担，也可以写成 put pressure on, give stress on. Corrupt 是一个动词，意思是使腐化、堕落，使道德败坏。例句如 It was power that corrupted him. 权力使他堕落。Physician 意思是内科医师，它是一个名词。Healer 也是一个名词，意思是医治者、治疗师。例句如 Time is the best healer. 时间会治愈一切。文法的部分我们看到 which puts the strain on 这里，在这里 which 是非限定用法，代替前面的 it will give doctors too much power， which 前面需要加上逗点。For example, doctors might extend euthanasia to curable patients in order to save valuable time and money. 举例来说，医生可能会为了节省宝贵的时间以及金钱，而把安乐死的做法延伸到可以治愈的患者身上。Additionally, opponents are worried that euthanasia may make doctors avoid their responsibility for providing care for their patients. 此外，反对者也担心安乐死可能会让医生回避职责，不提供照护给他们的患者。Extend 是一个动词，意思是扩及。例句如 The effects of this legislation will extend further than the government intends. 这项立法所产生的影响将比政府预期的更为深远。Make doctors avoid 此处为 make 使役动词的用法，句型为 make 加上受词再加上动词，而因为它是主动，所以我们使用原形动词。Avoid one's responsibility 意思是逃避责任，也可以写成 escape one's responsibility. Believing in the importance of compassionately taking care of others and the preciousness of human life, Opponents of euthanasia argue that the only solution to such a difficult situation is to care for the terminally ill for as long as they live. 安乐死的反对者深信慈悲、照顾他人的重要性与人类生命的宝贵，因此他们主张唯一能解决如此艰难情况的办法，就是照顾绝症患者，直到他们活着的最后一天。Compassionately 是一个副词，意思是富有同情心地。
Last but not least, another argument against euthanasia is that, for many people, the life of a human being is considered sacred. 段落开头的 last but not least 表示最后但同样重要的。Another argument against euthanasia is that, 另一个反对安乐死的论点是，当我们想表示反对的理由或论点时，就可以使用 argument against something 的结构。那如果我们想表示支持的理由论点的话，则可以使用 argument for something 的结构。我们继续往下看。For many people, 对许多人来说 the life of a human being is considered sacred. 人的生命是神圣的。Sacred 是形容词，表示神圣的。我们看例句 Cows are considered sacred in my religion. 我的宗教信仰将牛视为神圣的动物。In the majority of religions, ending a life is viewed as one of the greatest sins against God. They believe that God's plan should be carried out without interference from doctors. 我们先看第一句的 the majority of 这边 the majority of 指大多数的，所以 in the majority of religions 表示在大多数的宗教里 ending a life 终结生命 is viewed as one of the greatest sins against God. Be viewed as 指被认为，而 sin 为名词，指罪，罪过。例句 I think it's a sin to waste food when so many people in the world are hungry. 我认为浪费食物是一种罪过，因为世界上还有那么多人在挨饿。而 against 是介系词，表示违背、反对，所以这句的意思是终结生命被视为违背上帝的最大罪过之一。They believe that God's plan should be carried out. 他们相信上帝的计划应该被执行。当我们想要表达执行的意思时，便可以像课文中一样使用 carry out 这个片语。我们继续往下看。Without interference from doctors, 在没有医生干预的情况下。Interference 是名词，指干涉、干预。我们看小黑板。The government's interference in the strike has been widely criticized. 政府对罢工的干预措施受到了广泛的批评。Euthanasia has long been a debated issue in the tough decision for individuals and families. Imagine that you're the parent of the baby mentioned in the first paragraph. Euthanasia has long been a debated issue. 安乐死是长久以来的辩论议题。Issue 是名词，为议题、问题的意思。例句 The representatives from all countries have gathered at this conference to discuss international issues. 各国代表在这个会议上聚集，一同讨论国际议题。And a tough decision for individuals and families. 安乐死对个人和家庭来说也是个困难的抉择。Imagine that you're the parent of the baby mentioned in the first paragraph. 想象你是第一段提到的那个婴儿的父母。Your baby's life is dependent on machines, and you love it with all your heart. What would be your decision? Your baby's life is dependent on machines. Dependent 是形容词，表示依赖的、仰赖的。所以例句 It's very easy to become dependent on sleeping pills 便指人很容易对安眠药产生依赖性。所以 be dependent on 表示仰赖，那我们就可以知道 Your baby's life is dependent on machines 意思是你孩子的生命仰赖机器。And you love it with all your heart 而你全心全意地爱着他。这里的 it 指的是 your baby， 而 with all your heart 为本课片语，指全心全意。例句 The father loved his 3 children with all his heart. 这位父亲全心全意地爱着他的3个孩子。What would be your decision? 你的决定会是什么呢？本课就到这边结束。 读完本课后，你是支持还是反对安乐死呢？如果你是文中那位孩子的父母亲，究竟会如何抉择呢？希望读完本课后，同学们能更了解安乐死正反两方的论点，也能认真思考，如果自己面临这种两难的情况，会做出怎样的决定。我们下次再见喽！